All right, so Frank, in 2013, these articles started popping up in reference to this guy who appeared on The Biggest Loser in 2006. I
Right.
don't know, it was some sort of apparently like a special edition season or episodes or whatever they would do where they would get the families involved. So it would be like a family of fatsos. Like, I guess all the fat family needs to lose weight or whatever, cousins, brothers, sisters, whatever it was, right?
Mhm.
So all these articles started coming out in 2013 in relation to one of the contestants that was on the show. I'm going to read one of the articles, and this is all. And the reason why this is even was even in the paper is in relation to Bobby Glass's trial. This is how this thing
Right.
kind of starts. So I'll read a piece of this article from the Daily News, and this is what the article says. So I'm not making fun of anyone. A fatso who appeared on the reality TV diet show The Biggest Loser has been outed as a reputed Gambino gangster. Robert Bighead Avani, 45 years old, appeared in a special edition of the series in 2006, where he teamed up with hefty relatives who owned an Italian restaurant in the Bronx. A brush with fame that didn't go unnoticed to Mobland. Two turncoat witnesses have testified at the racketeering and murder trial of Gambino captain Bartolomeo Bobby Vernace that Iavani was a member of Vernace's crime crew that operated out of a Queens cafe. And there's a lot more to the story. Frank, who the hell's Rob Iavani?
I meet Rob in Christ the King. So Rob is like one of those guys, just too old for his body and his mind. You know what I mean? He was like your father was going to school with you. Neapolitan. He had these like octopus eyes. It always looked like he never got sleep. Walked red faced all the time. A hustler, but he didn't start out that way. He started as a degenerate gambler. He probably always was a gambler, but I mean, he probably cost his parents so much fucking money from bookies coming over the house that at one point they didn't know what to do with him until he started hustling himself. This guy got his hands on everything that was um not bad, not coke, no heroin, none of that shit. But if he had a pound of weed, he'd sell it. If he had fucking pumpkins on Halloween, Christmas trees, obviously in Christmas, Easter flowers, everything, cigarettes, he had it all, and he had it all, and he was always um fireworks, a big firework deal. I told you, Rafi stole his fireworks one year, and that's how they became friends after they all were under the same guy, under the same rabbi. Eventually, was Bobby Glasses. So, yeah, he kept himself. He was a real funny fucking guy. Always had a nice looking girl around him. Um, he loved his women like most of us. Um, and he would sometimes go. He would go borrow money off of some guy and Peter to pay Paul. He was doing a lot of that shit too, and making what he was making. He was a hustler, though. I'll give him that. Um, Ralph used to lend him money and charge him up the kazoo for it. One time he really got in trouble. This is when they were younger, and him and Ralph started hanging out. So he convinced Ralph, who had like that gangster appearance. He looked a little bit older for his age. To go up to his parents and tell them in a nice way that their son owes some money and he needs 25 grand. It was actually with fucking Rob Ivani.
Oh
Of
my
course, Ralph
god.
took 2,000 of it. You know what I mean? Being Ralph. Um, but he would do shit like that. But he was
So wait a second. He basically ripped off his parents.
he ripped off his parents. Yeah. The beatings he's gotten for fucking Bobby were crazy. Like slaps and kicks in the head and punches. To the point he started growing up. He started like saying, you know what? I'm gonna start making money for a change. And he started making money. He started taking horse bets at a bar I was at, that I was working for a minute. And he used to come, they used to do the horse bets. He got himself into anything, anything. Um, just a character, man.
So he's a part of like this weird clique of guys that you touched on a little bit. This odd group of these oddballs that would hang out
Yes,
at Bobby Glass's cafe or social club. I think you said it was on Cooper, right?
it was Cooper and Myrtle, cross street from Zoom Stomptish. That's where yeah, Bobby had a very, very eccentric group around him. Um, he had this Mike, the Dolphin, Mike Dolphin. He kind of like a tough guy, Irish guy. He comes from another long Irish family. They used to when we were kids, they used to be those guys. You know, John Haley talks about them, man. I was like, really? Mike and them, they go, yeah, they were tough. There was Tommy, Eugene, Leo. I went to school with Sean. He became a cop. But they were a tough group, and Bobby really took a liking to Michael. One of his sisters had a bar in Central Avenue. A good group, good Irish Catholic group. But he had him. He had who else did he have? He had Vito Love. Vito Love and the kid Nicky Shakes was always over there hanging out. I think they're both fucking made now. I know Vito is, but I don't know. I don't know. I hear mixed stories. I don't know about the other guy. And there was other Joe Deli, his brother Caesar. Caesar worked the door with me at Baccarat. These fucking guys will always get themselves in trouble, like myself. And then eventually, me and Howie hang out there later on. Howie being that his guy went away, and his guy told him, go hang out with Bobby for a while, go stay around there. And that's when me and Howie started hanging out a little bit more. I used to see him all the time. They had Eastern European bartenders, so I actually Bobby convinced Vito to marry one time so she could be a citizen. His girls that type of shit was going on. It was just fucking clown. They had a barber next door. His name was, they nicknamed him Hotel, whatever the fuck. He looked like a Mexican with the guitar, He was Sicilian gone wrong, about 5 foot with the mustache and the belly,
like
and the
mariachi.
mullet, and he had the mullet.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, the mariachi, and he was just fucking lippy motherfucker, but thought he was being funny at the time. So he had made a fucking side comment one time to Bobby's Gumar, who was working behind the fucking counter. He was cutting hair one day, and this big fucking one of those old park guys that they got to come down, lit him up for one fucking room. What did I do? Hey, what's going on? Just fucking beat his ass. He ran right in the coffee shop. Help! So this is the type of shit that was going. There was Steve, the Jewish guy, really nice guy, probably the sanest one of the whole group. But it was just a fucking crazy ass group. This was Vita Cafe, right? And it was just a funny ass. There was a guy with Mahoney. He must have cost his dad a couple of buildings and fucking gambling. Another lippy motherfucker. There was a lot of lippy fucking guys there. John Carlo looked like a Ramon. One of the Ramones. He used to answer the phone for Bobby, and he would drink every day, Heineken's, I remember. And he was like, Bobby had a really soft spot for him. I don't know, they go back to like Knickerbocker Avenue when they both lived there, so they were like family. And he didn't want John looked just out of place. Okay, wore black all the time. His haircut was that Ramon haircut.
Yeah.
And he was a really nice guy, but when he got drunk, he could be fucking a lippy motherfucker too. So this was going on all the time. A lot of back and forth bullshit. It was the characters. They were really characters. I kind of, looking back, it was fun. At the time, I was living with my ex-girlfriend in Glendale. So all my friends were in jail at this time. And when I mean all, I could say most of my friends, 80%. And so I had nowhere to hang out. I was just getting ready to get arrested, kind of, because at that point I know people were flipping, and it was either, leave my ex and just go, or go with the punches and see what's going on, because there was rumblings that they were mentioning my name too. So eventually it picked me up while I was living in Glendale. And that's where that was. But yeah, it was a fucking real crazy group, man. Rob was crazy. We were sent to go beat somebody up one time because, listen to this. It wasn't about Rob, it was about a check. A guy came in there and gave Rob a check. This guy Frank the mechanic, was a little bit about himself. He gave Rob the check. Oh no, Rob gave him the check and he got 10,000 from the guy. So 10,000. At this time, Rob was making money. So it wasn't, maybe they dealt with each other a couple of times and he would give him like $500. But the guy came back, Frank, and came into the coffee shop all pissed off. And that's another rule. We talk about rules of the mob. You can't fucking go in somebody's club and fucking start yelling and screaming. That's not a good idea. So he went in, he goes, "Where's that Robert, that motherfucker? I'm gonna get him." And he's scumbagging me for 10,000. Wait till I catch him. And he made a fucking scene. It got to Bobby's ear. Bobby goes, you know, who the fuck this guy thinks he is? This is my fucking place. I'm owed money all over the fucking place. He said, I don't go around people's places looking for the guys. I wait for them when they're in a neutral area. I don't go to your fucking place. That's just, you know, who the fuck does this guy think he is? Make a long story short, Vito Love calls me. He goes, I've said this story before. I'll say it again. Fuck it. I don't care. So he goes, hey, you know that guy you don't like? I go, who? You know, there's a list. He goes, that Frank the mechanic. I go, what about him? He goes, well, we got an okay to go beat his ass. He goes, and he told me the story. I said, all right, I'll come. Fuck it. I don't like the guy. You know, he made a big deal. I owed him money. I ended up paying him. And he came after me with 3 guys. He just missed me. I wish he would have caught me because they would have gave me the right to fucking kill him. But you know, he made a big deal out like he was somebody, and I never forgot about that. So I said, okay, cool. He goes, it's gonna be me, you, Howie, and Rob Avani. I go, Rob Avani. I never seen him throw a swing in his fucking life. He goes, yeah. I said, all right. Well, Howie always slept, so we end up going to the mechanic shop, which is, I'm glad we didn't do it there because a block away is Casablanca. It's right there on Elliott. Okay. So
Okay.
imagine fucking having cop cars and ambulances there, fucking a block away from his shit. And he was definitely out at the time. It was 2001, I believe. So I go in there. I don't ask for him. Vito does. Goes, where's and this guy Tony Sausage who hung out with my nephew or whatever. We go up to him. His father owns a place with this guy Frank the mechanic. He goes, is Frank here? He goes, no. But Tony sees me there and he already knows something's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He goes, no. And the father comes out. He goes, is everything all right? I said, yeah, no, everything's good. We just want to talk. He wants to talk to him. I'm just there for the ride, you know. He goes, okay. So when he comes back, tell him to meet us at the coffee shop. You know, this coffee shop where all the loonies hang out.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't make this shit up. Howie still hasn't showed up, right? Very unlikely. How he likes this type of shit. So, you know, it's not like he was dogging it. The guy comes in with Tony Sausage. Tony Sausage thinks nothing's going to happen because he's there. He's wrong. So Iavani's by the door. He goes, hey. And he just fucking throws a shot at him like a fucking half-ass shot. Like a fucking, you know, it's from the elbow to the fucking
very compact.
What you doing now? Mind you, I have a good rapport with Bobby's Bobby's girlfriend. She's a nice woman, and she never seen me really wild out. I took this guy and busted him from fucking wall to wall to wall, punching him, kicking him, fucking just getting on top of him, boom, boom. You know, I mean, that was all the aggravation he gave me, you know, over fucking. And there's Rob just looking. Yeah, I think he threw a kick in. You know what I mean? And Vito's over there just watching, but it's not. Vito knew I had it under control. That's what that was. And after I just fucked him up, he's bleeding all over the fucking place. He leaves. And the woman, she's Romanian. She goes, Frank, I never see you like this, just like animal. I said, I'm sorry. He just pissed me off. He said something about my mother. And and she goes, oh my God. So now I'm thinking, Bobby never gave me this order. I'm saying, what the fuck? Vito better not be fucking bullshit me, because not only did we kind of like botched it, we fucked this guy up in his coffee shop. Is this gonna be a fucking thing?
Yeah.
I'm in trouble here, you know? It wasn't a thing. Obviously, he knew. He didn't say nothing. Hey, next time I seen him was hey, what's up? What's going on? Nothing. Everything all right? Good. That's it. That we didn't even talk about it. I get a phone call. And it's my cousin Phil. At this time, I was around my cousin Phil again. You know, his father had died. Back to fucking basics. He's my cousin. Hey, you go, what? Can you come to the office? I said, about what? Hey, what the fuck happened? He goes, no, can you pass by? I said, yeah, I'll pass by. I go there, and there's this guy, Enzo, who's an electrician, who had gotten made, who worked at Italian 90 at one time for my brother. I go, hey, Enzo, I didn't even know he was made. And nice guy, sweethearted guy, really nice guy. And John Licata, who I know all my life, Pete Licata's son, Pedro Licata's son, who I like an uncle. I go, hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? And they go, what happened with Frank, the mechanic? I go, I look around, I go, like, why? I go, well, he's around Enzo. Enzo. So I'm putting two and two together. So I go like this. Oh, I thought he was around these guys, but the Gambino family. That's the he
So
was
that
around.
lets you know. That lets you know that that guy's made. That's when you. That's how you put two and two together.
Yeah. And then I asked, of course, said yes, he
Right.
was. So I go like this. He's cool. He goes, Frank has always been cool. I said, yeah, me too. Talking about me. He goes, what happened? I go, I personally look in the ceiling and I go like this. Didn't know he was, and I go like this, like a round figure, like
Yeah.
around us.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Matter of fact, I always thought he was, and that's the fucking drift I got. Why I did it, I didn't give a fuck about fucking bouncing fucking that kid's check. I didn't care about that. It was the shit he was talking on the street about me while he was being protected by these people. So he no longer was protected by these people. So I took it within myself to fucking light him up. Well, beat his ass. I didn't light him. I didn't shoot him. And they go, the guy goes, and yeah, he has a tendency to talk out of his ass a lot and say stupid shit. I said, regardless, let's say if that was the case and you guys would have and I'm doing a lot of sign language while we're in this room. I said, then I would have been hands off. Obviously, my alliance is here. I mean, I have friends over there, but I didn't think that was a thing. I thought he was a lone wolf. All right, that's good, man. And John even said Frankie's a good kid. I gave him a hug goodbye. I gave the other guy a hug. I haven't seen him in a while. And I told my cousin I'll see you later. And it died there. But that's how that happened. Fucking all because of Mr. Iavani.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, he seems to be like a guy who's got his stuff together. He's living his life. He's doing his thing. From what I
Yeah.
could tell,
I'm not surprised.
obviously, yeah. I mean, but
I'm not surprised. I'm not
what
surprised.
is?
He had a lot of good legitimate qualities in him. He wasn't a killer. He wasn't a violent guy. He was a nice guy. It seemed like, he had a little bit. Vito Grimaldi hated him, and we took him on as a gambler, and he was hitting us bad. He put us in a fucking red for about 30, 40 grand. He bet $4,000 on a fucking hockey game. And Vito was convinced that he had an in, like in the NHL or something. I go, no, man, he's
Oh
going to
my
lose.
god!
I know what he was doing, I think. So what I think he was doing was he would bet with one side and then but another side with another bookie. And then when he had to go collect, he would use that money to go fucking put towards his business. You know what I mean? And then the other money he would pay them a little less. When they lose, they don't give a
Right.
fuck. If you lose, unless you win. If you lose 80,000, you pay him 60,000 and tell them I'll pay you later. They'll be cool with that. They'll be cool with that. So don't gamble, just pay us weekly. Now if you won 80,000 and then you lose 20,000, you don't have the money, you're gonna get your head busted open.
They should have spoke to Vito Antifermo. He would have told them that you're the one that plays for the Rangers,
I play for the Rangers. Can you
not
believe that
fucking
shit?
Iavani.
Did I tell you the time I go to the bathroom? He's at that club with the hairspray like that, but he's there like for fucking what seemed to be about 4 minutes. Shh. I'm like, what are you doing? And he always smelled like fucking garlic.
It's like an Italian Soul Glow ad,
Oh yeah, he smelled like fucking garlic all the fucking time.
like Coming to America.
Yeah, Joe Grimaldi, which we'll talk about when we start palling around and that little clique that I hung out with, forming around this time as well. But he used to love for me to go up to Vito and bust him. Hey, Frankie, it wasn't about the girls on the dance floor or getting dressed. He goes, let's go fuck with fucking Vito. You know what I mean?
Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, so I hope everybody got something out of that. Rob Avani, we wish him well. Obviously, you knew him at one point, and things seem to be
Yes.
okay. I hope. And funny stuff, man.
He's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. And I don't know how he feels about me, but thumbs up to Rob Avani.